everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be comparing a 2021 Ram TRX to a 2020 Shelby Raptor. This is going to be an epic comparison, but first and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to Ed Kenley Ford for giving me some time with their Shelby Raptor. I really appreciate it so I can do this comparison. If you guys don't know, this is my Ram TRX that I recently ordered, and this is Ed Kenley's Shelby Raptor. They've got this black one, they also have a blue one, so if you're looking for a Shelby Raptor, they've got two of them. Now let's go into the hoods of both of the trucks. So starting over here with the TRX, we have a 6.2 liter supercharged V8 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Power outputs are 702 horsepower and then 650 pound-feet of torque, with fuel economy being 10 around town and then 14 on the highway. And sadly, everything's kind of hidden under this plastic covering, so you can't really see too much, but yes, there's an engine and a supercharger under all this plastic mess. Coming over here to the Shelby Raptor, we have a twin-turbo 3.5 liter V6 that goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Now, fuel economy on a base model Raptor, and when I say base model, I mean one that's not tuned by Shelby, is 15 around town and 18 on the highway. I'm guessing the Shelby Raptor is a little bit lower because it puts out 525 horsepower and then 610 pound-feet of torque, and then also has these crazy tires and has some extra weight from like the hood and the bumper and the rack and all that kind of stuff, so it's probably just a little bit more. But the thing that's interesting, this has 610 pound-feet of torque, this has 650, so like the Shelby Raptor doesn't have that much less torque compared to the TRX. I've got both trucks on so you guys can see all of the lights rather than just some of them. So with the TRX, you've got the marker lights there in the center portion of the venting and then on either side. And then yes, with the hood, it looks pretty crazy. You've got the venting there in the center, and then you've got this on the side. You've got the 6.2 liter supercharged badge, and then you got full LED lights, which are really bright at night. You've got the accent lights on the top and the bottom, fog lights down below, parking sensors on the bumper. You've got a little skid plate right here with a couple of tow hooks as well, and then the Ram logo is hollow, which is pretty neat. Little camera there on the front end. But coming over to the Shelby Raptor, we've got venting on the hood just like the TRX. You've got your turbocharged badge there on the side, and then notice that you've got the LED lights that are standard with the Raptor with the marker lights there in the center and then on the side as well. And then you can see with this bumper, you've got more LED lights with a giant LED light bar, and then you've got the Shelby logo there at the bottom portion. Still get a camera at the front. But yeah, two completely different trucks pretty much from a front end perspective, but also very similar at the same time. And also, you guys can see the light there at the top of the Shelby. I think it looks so cool. The Ram's rack doesn't come with a light, so like you've got lights here, you don't got lights over there. Now coming on the side here, we've got 18-inch wheels on both trucks, and we've got 35s on both trucks as well, but a little bit different tire setup. So notice here with the TRX, you guys can see just the kind of like tread pattern there on the tire. Coming over to the Raptor, significantly more aggressive. And then down to the rims, these are the beadlock capable wheels with the TRX, and they look pretty good. But the wheels over here on the Shelby Raptor, I think they look a little bit better if you ask me. And then you've got the red brake caliper there in the center portion, which is pretty neat. 3-inch Fox shocks here on the Shelby Raptor, and then on the TRX we've got 2.5-inch Bilsteins, and completely different setup again, so you guys can kind of see, well, part of the front suspension there. And then here on the Shelby Raptor, you guys can see the craziness happening underneath. And let's actually head to the rear so you guys can see kind of like the setup here in the back. So again, craziness. And by the way, the Shelby Raptor has long travel suspension, whereas the TRX, I mean, it's got a good amount of travel, but not nearly as much as the Shelby Raptor. So again, a little bit different setup from a suspension and tire system perspective, but also pretty similar. Let's go over the back ends of both the trucks. Starting over here with the Shelby Raptor, notice that you've got the bed liner here on the back portion, then you got the tire carrier with both of the tires, so you actually get two spares here with the Shelby Raptor. And then you've got the full rack here in the back with the LED light bar there at the top you guys saw earlier, and there are LED bed lights, sorry, here in the Shelby Raptor. Coming over to the Ram TRX, still get bed liner from the factory, still get the LED bed lights. Still has a tire carrier, but you've only got one tire versus two. And notice with those tires, when you remove them, you can just roll them out. Whereas this one, you're going to have to kind of like pick it up a little bit. So a little bit different with that. And then the rack doesn't have any LED lights. It's just kind of for show, which, I mean, I love how this thing looks, but I wish that it had LED lights like what the Shelby has. But yeah, that's the bed of the TRX, and that's the bed of the Shelby Raptor. Now let's finish things up in the rear of both the trucks. Starting over here with the Shelby Raptor, you've got the regular Raptor lights here in the back with a little marker light just down below. And then you've got LED lights here on the bumper. You've got the custom exhaust from Shelby, which is pretty neat. And then you got those little LED lights there in the center. Definitely love the look of the bumper on this. Coming over to the TRX, you've got the full blacked out LED lights that are standard with the TRX, and these are kind of like on the Rebel and then also on like the night packages. And you've got all your regular logos here on the back. You got the exhaust that sounds fantastic because it's a big supercharged V8. But yeah, that's the back of the TRX, and that's the back of the Shelby. Now let's pop into the back of both the trucks. So starting over here with the Shelby Raptor, we've got carbon fiber here on the side, power side steps, and then we've got these beautiful seats. So you've got the full leather here, nice perforations in the center. You've got the red leather with the suede on the side of the seat, and then there is storage just underneath the seat. But popping in, it's really easy to get in with those power steps, and headroom's great in here. I'm 5'11", and then legroom is really good as well. Couple cup holders, you've got heated seats here in the back. You've got a bunch of little charging devices, more carbon fiber, and then this is like your armrest cup holder situation in, well, again, the Shelby Raptor. But let's pop out and, well, go over to the TRX. So opening up the door here of the TRX a little bit more. Notice you've got the nice stitching, leather, Alcantara, all that kind of stuff on the door panel with some carbon fiber as well. And then coming to the seats, notice it's pretty similar in terms of like the theme. They did the leather with the red stitching, kind of like the red accenting here with a little bit of Alcantara. It's crazy how similar these seats are. And by the way, they're both just as soft, so like you don't get any added comfort by going from one truck to the other. And then this one has the fixed side steps, so no power steps. And then you get like the little ice buckets here, and then under seat storage, pretty similar. But let's actually pop into the TRX. So stepping in, it's actually a little bit harder to get in the TRX. The side steps there on the Shelby Raptor come down a little bit lower, so it kind of makes it more progressive, whereas this, you have to step up higher to get into it. So, I mean, just take that into account. But legroom and all that, pretty similar. We got a couple cup holders here with more carbon fiber, and then notice you've got heated and ventilated seats, bunch of charging stations, all that kind of stuff. And then this pulls down, which it has Alcantara there on the top, but you got some storage space, cup holders, all that kind of stuff. So pretty similar setup here in, well, the rear of the TRX compared to the rear of the Shelby Raptor. Now let's quickly go over the interior here with the TRX. So with the steering wheel, you've got Alcantara at the top and at the bottom, perforated leather here on the side. You got your controls for the cruise control and adaptive cruise control, and then you've got your controls for the voice commands and then controls for the center stack, and then you've got the paddles here on the back, which are kind of weird because it kind of like pops up, and then there's like this blank space there in the middle for the radio controls, and then you got the paddle portion on the bottom, so definitely weird. Got the little stalk there for the windshield wipers slash turn signal. And then popping here in the center, you've got the gauge cluster here. So you've got analog gauges on either side that have kind of like the red background with the TRX logo there at the top. And then you got a couple different menus you can scroll through, like vehicle information, off-road status, all that kind of stuff. And I'm sure the thing that you guys all want to see, which is, well, there we go. Fuel economy, 10.4. But yeah. You've got all those things here in the center stack, but the cool thing is actually the drive modes. So you've got a couple different modes that you can scroll through here. Sorry about the camera, it's kind of messing up. So you've got your custom mode, which you obviously can customize. And then next to that, you've got the mud sand, you've got the rock, you've got the Baja, the sport, and then you've got the tow, and then snow and auto. I've been driving this mostly in auto because I've been doing a bunch of highway miles. I'm excited to try out the different drive modes, but yeah, you've got a ton of different drive modes with the TRX. And then popping over here, we've got the gigantic 12-inch display. So you've got analog climate controls on either side. You've got your lane departure assistance here at the top with your hazard lights. And then just down below, you've got your buttons for the auxiliary switches. So the Raptor actually has more auxiliary switches, which is interesting. Parking sensors as well. You've got your trailer steering and then trailer brake controls. And then as for the infotainment system itself, it's really easy to use. Response time's great. It's absolutely massive, as you guys can see. And let's actually pop it into reverse. You guys can see the camera aspect of it. So when we pop it in reverse, you've got trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel, and then you've got a bunch of different camera views out of the truck, and then you've got just the regular backup camera, which you can zoom in, and then you can access that from the controls tab as well. So you got the surround camera. This does have a forward camera as well. You can't use it when you're in reverse, which is interesting. You can use like a different forward camera. So the difference with this forward camera is it's got lines for the tires, so you can see that as I turn the steering wheel, the lines for that will also turn, which is, I guess, like basically just a nice little feature if you ask me. And then the other cool thing about the infotainment system is, since this is a TRX and has drive modes and all that kind of stuff, you actually do get performance pages, just like with the Dodges, and those are just on the other tab here. So you can see that you've got like the TRX logo right there, and you've got the drive mode, you got the performance, which will take you to the performance pages, and then you got the race options, which is the launch control. But notice it tells you everything that changes. So you got your transmission, your paddle shifters, stability control, suspension, and steering. That'll change depending on the drive mode. And then with the race options, you can basically set the RPMs for the launch control. You've got shift light and then race cool down. And by the way, launch control button is over here, and then you've got your drive line select. So you've got your 4-wheel auto, your 4-wheel high, your axle lock, and then your 4-wheel low. And then this is like your off-road cruise control with your stability control button. Here's the shifter on the TRX. You've got the plus and minus for the different gears, and again, you can use the paddles or the shifter. Wireless phone charger, bunch of USBs right here, couple cup holders. Got the center console with the nice TRX logo there on the center. One thing I don't like about this console is the Alcantara. I wish it was on the side rather than the middle, because then you don't want to rest your arm, because then you could potentially run the Alcantara, so a little bit interesting with that. And then you got the glove box, which is pretty normal. It's got my stuff in it, so I'm not going to open it up all the way. But notice you got the leather on it, and then you've got the carbon fiber on the glove box, and then leather all over the dash with the Alcantara. And then finishing things up top, this does have the camera mirror, so it's actually a camera that basically gives you the mirror view, which I think is pretty neat. And then here at the very top, we've got the controls for the power sliding window in the back. Got like your tailgate, you got your light controls for the panoramic sunroof, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's the TRX. Let's go over the interior here on the Raptor. So notice that the steering wheel setup's just a little bit different. Leather at the top and at the bottom, but you still get the perforated leather here on the side. Carbon fiber here on the center portion. And then control-wise on the steering wheel, you've still got your volume control, you've got your cruise control, your controls for the center stack, your drive mode select, and your steering select. The paddles on this, I feel like, are a little bit nicer just because they're easier to access. There's no like gap here in the middle like on the TRX, so definitely like the paddles, and I mean, they've got like that nice metallic sound. And then you've got the turn signal stalk right there, which is pretty cool, but that's the steering wheel. Popping here into the center gauge cluster, notice that you've got red gauges, again, similar to the TRX, and then you've got a center screen, again, similar to the TRX, that'll show you different bits of information on the truck. That was just in the Raptor status. So I mean, that all is pretty similar here with the Shelby Raptor. And then you got the steering modes, so you've got your normal, your sport, and your comfort. And then you do have the drive modes as well. So you've got your normal, deep sand and snow, Baja, rock crawl, slippery, tow haul, sport. So again, from a drive mode perspective, they're both actually pretty similar, which I think is pretty cool. And then coming over here, we still have your auto stop start. This is for the camera system to turn it on or off. So you got a couple different camera views, hazard lights, off-road cruise control, then your stability control. And then as for the infotainment system, again, we'll pop in reverse. You guys can see what the backup camera looks like on this. And this still has like the 360 view. So like camera-wise, again, they're very similar. Infotainment screen is a little bit smaller. Response time, I feel like, is just as good. Control-wise, I mean, you still get Bluetooth. You still get all the normal stuff that a Raptor comes with in the newer F-150s as well. Full power outlet, and they've got our radio controls just down below, and you got your analog climate controls. This does come with heated and cooled seats and heated steering wheel, again, just like the TRX. And then we've got our driveline select. So this is where things are a little bit interesting. So with the TRX, you get 4-wheel auto, 4-wheel low, and 4-wheel high. No 2-wheel drive whatsoever. The Raptor, you still get 2-wheel drive and the other driveline selects, and then you still get a locker. So like this truck technically is going to be more playful because you could have it in 2-wheel drive on the off-road, so you can get cool drifting and cool donuts, whereas the TRX, you're 4-wheel drive all the time, so it's not going to be as playful and as fun. So yeah, just take that in consideration. And then you got a trailer backup system, trailer brake controls. Still get like a center console storage area. It's got some USBs on it. full carbon fiber, and then you've got the shifter here, which is in a very similar place as the TRX with the manual shift mode. You've got this for the lane departure assistance, couple cup holders, and then you got the center console, which says Shelby Raptor on it. So they both have like a plaque on their center console, which is pretty cool. And then decent amount of storage space. And then you've got another plaque here just up above the glove box. And then you've got a glove box. Again, leather trim here on the dash. Just a traditional mirror on it, which, I mean, no complaints with that. And then you've got, again, more auxiliary switches. Like I said, this has 6, whereas the TRX only has 4. So you can add more items here with the Shelby Raptor. Still get a power sliding window. Still gets a full panoramic sunroof. And that's all for the Raptor. Let's get into pricing with both of the trucks. So starting here with the Shelby Raptor, it's stickers for about $122,000, and then my TRX fully loaded stickered for about $95,000. Now, what I'm gonna do with today's video is I'm actually gonna post driving impressions on both of the trucks, and then I'm gonna post a poll. I'm gonna let you guys vote between the Shelby Raptor and the TRX, which, I mean, obviously there's inherent benefits to both the trucks. Yes, this truck has a crazy powertrain and it's very nice on road. But the Shelby Raptor, I still feel like, is the ultimate off-roader truck from the factory with a full warranty. You've got the crazy bumpers, you've got the crazy rack, the tires in the back, you've got the long travel suspension, just like a bunch of really cool off-road tech. And so yeah, that's kind of what I think is, I think that this is like a great on-road off-road truck, and this is like the ultimate off-road truck. But I want you guys still to let me know what you think in the comment section below, and then you guys will obviously vote in the poll as well. But yeah, I think this is like the coolest comparison I've ever done on the channel. But that is going to sum things up for today's video. And again, a huge shout out and thank you to Ed Kenley Ford for giving me some time with the Shelby Raptor so that I can make this comparison. I think this is the first Shelby Raptor versus TRX comparison on YouTube. So I mean, I'm just really grateful they gave me some time with the truck. Again, check out the inventory in the link below. They've got this Shelby Raptor, and then they've got the blue one. So yeah, if you want one, they still have a brand new Shelby Raptor. Check them out.